Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Kim Sato.
You're listening to the Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hi, Kim.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Great. How about yourself?
We're good.
We're doing good. Well, let's get this show started. First off,
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about you. What do you do?
Well, my name's Kim Sato, and I'm a nurse, and also trying to set up a beauty business. So, in a way, I'm also a beautician by trade. Also, I have a license in that.
Nice.
Cosmetology, actually. Didn't really. I didn't really continue in that line. Instead, I went off to the nursing path.
Yeah.
I've been a nurse since, 1990. Gosh, 90, I was so long. So I do have quite a bit of nursing experience, both, working at the bedside and also administrative. Right now, with this, with the pandemic, we get to work from home because I'm an administrator now. So that's what I'm doing. But I also, love this new skincare business that I have going on. So that I think that's another career path that I'm taking. So,
I like it.
Or am doing right now.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's awesome.
How did you get started in it? How'd you go, I want to try to do something with this? How did that go?
The funny thing is that I was just looking on the internet and I just stumbled upon an article about ingredients and things like that in skin. And I don't know why I was doing it. I forget already, but something caught my eye about, the different types of ingredients. So, I went, oh, I'm going to go look into that. And then it started to kind of like Hansel and Gretel, it gives you these little breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
And then you read something and you go, oh, wait, I want to read this. And it kept going. And then finally I said, wait a minute. I don't want to start, and I don't use, synthetic products and all these bad chemicals. And I honestly really didn't know much about the ingredients inside the skincare products. So I said to myself, I would love to do something natural and try to go to the organic path. And even understanding the term organic, I didn't really understand it that well either. When I first thought about organic, I think, oh yeah, it's grown from the environment and you can't have chemicals and blah, blah, things like that.
Right.
But when you actually look up the word organic, it doesn't really mean that way. It's actually, sometimes it is, it's no chemicals, but sometimes you have to use chemicals, and the chemicals that they used are approved, certain processes are approved that are considered organic. So you can have processes that are organic, and it has to fit a certain definition by the USDA. So when I found that out, I said, okay, well, organic doesn't really fit me, but I like to incorporate it, but I really would like natural definition of what I would love for my product. Really, I really attached to that aspect of it.
Okay. So what kind of products do you...
So that's why I started it.
Gotcha. Okay. Perfect. What kind of products do you have right now going on? So I know the all natural. Do you do like the cleansers, moisturizers? What kind of products are there? Not
yet. I just started it. I haven't even really launched my store yet. It's in the construction phase. I'm planning to launch it very, very soon. I think November 7th. But I'm starting out, and here's an interesting thing is that I'm not starting out with an actual skincare line.
Okay.
I'm going back to school to become a formulator so I can develop my skincare and hair care line. So right now I am doing products, but they're not a particular skincare line. They're more or less everyday products that you would kind of use, like lotions and things like that. But I do use different formulations in them, but moisturize your face or even serums and things like that. It's really external body care, like just the overall body and just certain things like exfoliators, lotions and things like that right now. So, but very soon I will start develop an actual skincare line for, for the face.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited to see when you do develop this line and you launch it, what it's all about and everything, all the details that go with it.
Yeah, that would be, I would I'd also posting on my blog. I want people to, come with me in my journey as I go through this training. I will talk about it and share knowledge of what I learned and, some of the difficulties or some of the positive and negative things that I experience as I go through the journey. So I think that will be incorporated into my entire blog where my clients or customers or just viewers go with me on this journey to experience what I'm experiencing. So they will have a firsthand, I guess, experience of what goes on as I progress through this training and development of a specific skincare line.
That's awesome. What's the best piece of advice that you've gotten so far in this transition phase that you're going through?
The best piece of advice I got was just do what you love
Mm-hmm.
and put your whole heart into it. Do not do it for money.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to work. Do it because you love it, not because you want to, make tons of money from it. Do it because it really is part of who you are. And that's the best piece of advice I can give anybody. Just if you have a passion, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of goals do you have finishing up this year? I know you're going to be launching soon on November 7th, you said, right? So very, very
Yes.
soon.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really exciting. What kind of goals do you have to finish out this year besides the launch and then kind of going into next year with the skincare line?
What I'd like to finish out this year is continue to develop the formulas for a lot of the skincare products that I will put onto the website. I want to make sure that those products are quality products and not just things that I'm just gonna put on there so people can buy and use. I don't want anyone wasting their money on something that won't benefit them. So one of my goal is to perfect products more, add more, but perfect it. I don't want a bunch of stuff on there right now. And I know that, inventory wise, a lot of people like to see more products, but it's just not my style to do that. So starting next year, I'd like to also add in classes. I'd like to share, classes with people to let them make their own things too.
Yeah.
Because not a lot of people can afford things and not a lot of people may like the types of ingredients I put in. So, some of the, my recipes, they can change it and adapt it to how I eat it. So that's also what I'm planning to do next year, with my business plan is to kind of help people and engage them a little bit more into their own, investing into their own bodies and being able to do this themselves at home if they want to.
Yeah. I know this question maybe goes along the lines for the schooling part more, but I'm curious to know all the everyday products that people normally use, the hand lotions, the deodorant, even stuff like that. How many chemicals do you know? I know they have bad chemicals in them, but how many chemicals compared to like what you're trying to do with the natural side of things would that be eliminating?
Well, it depends, I guess, because a lot of the chemicals that they use in the products that they could use, a lot of it could be synthetic.
Right.
So eliminating a lot of synthetic products, you may not necessarily decrease the amount of ingredients, but you may be changing it to a different type of ingredient. So let's say you can't get rid of preservatives, and a lot of preservatives are needed, and some of them may not be naturally derived. But if they are, used, or if they are purchased from a company that follows organic principles, you can pretty much use those things in their product safely, and also following, FDA guidelines on certain types of products. And there are databases out there to research things like this so that you can substitute an ingredient for another. You can minimize the amount of ingredients you can put into a particular product, but because the formulations depends on some of those ingredients, the texture or consistency or smell or feel or whatever it is could change. So you may not want to do that. I get what you say. I may try to minimize the amount of ingredients, but sometimes that may not be possible.
Yeah.
But you can certainly substitute it for another.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how all that back end worked. I know you said that when you start making your own formula, stuff like that. So I was just kind of curious to know what the main difference would be. All natural, of course, is better for you, no doubt.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. And, even things like that they call natural, like let's say if you were using micas, there are different grades of mica. There's a cosmetic grade, and then there's grades that you put into, paints. So you have to be kind of careful what you select and put into products for people to use. And that quantity too, a certain amount of quantity may not be beneficial, even though it's a natural ingredient. It may not be good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So all of that has to be taken into consideration.
Kind of going behind the scenes with your developmental process of this whole skincare line and you launching soon, what has gone into behind the scenes for you that maybe no one has seen? I know a lot of planning, lots of planning, lots of organization. Yeah.
What they don't see is the hours and hours and hours of actually testing products.
Yes.
Even making your own labels. I mean, the designs and selecting which labels, the sizes, and all of that stuff is very complex. Even your shipping. Looking at the different types of boxes and the grades of them and even the wrapping papers. I mean, it's amazing, like all the things you put into it. You wouldn't think of, like, you receive a box. You're like, oh, look at this box. Look how pretty it's packaged. And even, the things that goes inside these packing boxes, this little pretty potpourri looking thing. You have to consider all of those things too, because it has to fit into your theme. Because if I'm telling you I want natural products, but I load you with a bunch of plastic, that doesn't really work, right?
Right.
So I have to take everything into consideration from your packaging. So, if I want something sustainable, if I'm trying to, be, in line with what I believe in, I want to make sure that these things could be recycled, reused later. So I have to think about things like just allow these different little variables that can go into something like this that a lot of people don't know or take for granted, because you just take it off the shelf, you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, well, this thing smells good. But then you got to think, well, the person that's doing it is actually testing all these different essential oils or fragrance, putting it together to come up with that particular smell. Right. For their bodies and things like that. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I just love it. I don't know. It's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I just enjoy it. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Before we go today, how can people get a hold of you and support your new business?
Oh, yeah. Well, wonderful. They can follow me on social media, but I also have a website, and that's www.beallnaturalbeauty.com. And on that page, it has newsletters. You can subscribe to me. They can email me. It has my website on there. It has my email on there. And it also has different links on the bottom to all my social media pages.
Perfect.
Sweet. I like it. Well, that's awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Are these working?
All right. Sure.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe? What do we got to point at it? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. Like
it might be there.
It might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Find
it. It's red.
Yeah. And red. It's blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah, I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening to on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars, review. Guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.